Hello and welcome. Digi Yatra is transforming India's airport experience. If you're someone who's recently used it as a passenger, you will realize that look, there is a seamless way in which your facial recognition is used as a passenger's identity and boarding pass. And so, therefore, this transformation now across India is real. But really, what are the plans going forward? What is the impact that artificial intelligence is going to have on the sector and the jobs at play? Well, to decode all of this, I'm joined by Siddharth Sharma. He is the Chief Information and Innovation Officer of Digi Yatra Foundation. Thank you so much for this exclusive interaction with Times Now Digital. I'd like to begin by asking you, for all our viewers watching, and saying that look, Digi Yatra has now become an airport entry solution. But really, what beyond that? What are the expansion plans, or what are the new projects or new innovation that Digi Yatra has in mind that all consumers and passengers must know?
Yeah, thank you, Sakshi, for hosting me and having this conversation. So, a very pertinent question. So, what's next, right? So, everybody has been asking us. As we expand, so we have solved it, as you rightly said, airport solution. So, as of now, it is only for domestic, right? So, the most immediate one, which is keeping us busy and we are working towards, is opening it up for the international travelers, right? So people who are the Indian nationals who want to travel international, yes. So that is the other use case wherein we are enabling this by integrating it with the passport-based verifiable credential. We recently demonstrated that as well in March at the Global Forum. And when we talk about international, there is a global interoperability which is required because these, at the core, at the heart, Digi Yatra is a digital identity solution, wherein the way you carry your ID documents physically in your hands today and they are secure with you. Similarly, Digi Yatra is working towards converting each one of them digitally, which you can carry on your phones, right? So which always is with you. So that is what our vision is, and that's where we are working towards. So international trials is what on the cards. Most recently, we have launched a driving license based credential as well, with a commitment to give more options to the users to be able to use to take the journey through the airport. As of now, you can enter the airport today through Aadhaar based credential only. With this, you can do it with driving license as well. That is again an extension of our integration with the DigiLocker, wherein the moment that ID documents are available digitally, we will be able to open it to the customers to be able to use it in DigiYatra as well. So working towards our vision of seamless everything. And once, so this is a digital identity solution where you prove your ID digitally and in a privacy protected manner. Now, the solution technically is not something which can be limited to aviation. So we are working with the stakeholders to explore the use cases. How do we go beyond aviation? So, as a matter of fact, let's say hotel check-in is the most immediate one which can happen, which is there's a lot of friction which we see today. Digi Yatra can easily solve it with a verifiable credential. Then the use cases which people keep talking about or keep requesting us, why can Digi Yatra not be there in the examinations is the another use case, or access to a building. So wherever you have to prove your identity, Digi Yatra can give a privacy protected way to expand there. And while aviation is the most immediate one right now, we are working with the stakeholders to see how can we enable it in the other touch points as well.
Right, that's very, very important to know that other sectors are also being looked into and you're brainstorming those solutions. What about education, railways, and when should one expect that international launch then that you've been talking about?
So this international launch, not a launch, but a trial will be launched. So in March, we did a very limited trial at Bangalore Airport. Soon we will be, in a couple of months, we'll be doing at few more airports. And we are working closely with these airports and maybe before the year end, you should hear that news from us that limited trials are starting. And if you have an e-passport, which India has been issuing for the last 1 year, you will be able to create a credential through passport-based data, which is validated with the CIIO, and a verifiable credential with the passport on your phone, which will allow you to use the live trials, let's say before end of the year.
Before end of the year.
Yeah, and that will be a limited trial for a period of a few months, and we gather feedback and we go back and prepare for the launch later.
Okay. Now, while facial recognition technology has given everyone this ease of travel, as you explained, it has also raised concerns around data security, privacy concerns altogether. How do you think that biometric data can remain protected? And what steps is Digi Yatra, the Digi Yatra Foundation now taking to secure data that they're getting?
Wonderful. So that's the favorite question, and people relate Digiyatra with the seamless experience and the ease of travel that has happened, right? So that's what we mostly relate with. However, there is an untold story which we are trying to tell whenever possible, wherever possible. Thanks Sakshi for bringing this question up. So Digiyatra from day one was very serious about this, and the solution which we designed way back in 2022 when we launched. Since then, it's a solution without a database. So we have a zero storage on our cloud. Everything whatever is there is always on the user's phone, and it leaves your phone when you give the consent for every travel, and reaches the airport servers, and on the day of the travel you use it for your journey. The moment your flight takes off, within 24 hours of that, all the data is purged by the airport as well, and you repeat this cycle every time. So how did we solve this problem of biometric or data being there and with people? And that's a usual one. The moment you click a photograph, the first thought comes to your mind is, my data is gone now everywhere in the cloud. They will share it with everyone. So, but that's not the case with Digiyatra. Rest assured, it's always on your phone. It leaves with your consent. It gets purged when the purpose is served, and you repeat the cycle again. And we did this. This is called privacy by design. And you would also notice that we take a very minimal data which is required for the use case. From Aadhaar, when we pull data, we don't pull up address of yours and all. It is only your name, masked Aadhaar number, gender, and date of birth, right? So then, because that's what you need to be able to enter the airport. So data minimization is at the core. So when you don't have any data, what in the central server, so your need for the data security and privacy reduces dramatically, right? I'm not saying it's not there; it's still there, and we have all the controls and checks in place. When the data is in motion, when it is moving through your systems to the airport system and all, we need to ensure that it is protected then. However, there is no storage. When there is no persistent storage, what will somebody attack and take? If you want to hack something from Digiyatra, you'll have to hack all 25 million phones where the Digiyatra data is residing with the users. It's like taking your ID documents from your pocket. Instead of from your pocket, you have to take it from your phone, right? So it's all in your phones. And since then, and this approach is something global. Globe is also picking up now, and there are use cases which are coming up. When we did it, they were not enough. We have done it at scale. We have proven to the world that this concept of self-sovereign identity, it's a sovereign identity, and it's not a nation sovereign, it's self-sovereign because it is my identity. Everybody is talking about sovereign these days. This is self-sovereign. And we have been practicing this 2022 when we launched. Since then, more than 100 million users have, 100 million times it has been used at the airports. So verifiable claims has been done. So these many journeys have been taken or smiles have been enabled since the launch. So we take data privacy and security very seriously. That is something which is core, which is by design to us. That's not an afterthought in Digiyatra. That's the first thing which we do. And so much so that we don't have data. I would love to call ourselves digital fakirs.
Okay, that's interesting to know. But there are complaints and challenges emerging as far as facial recognition failures or the cases like identical twins. So with artificial intelligence comes all of these failures. What would you say about that then?
So, very good question again. So, with every tech, there is something which is good and something which fails as well. So, no tech is 100% there, and the same is true with the AI as well. The cases which you mentioned about twins. So how does a facial engine recognize a person? It doesn't recognize the way you look, right? So, it's not how you look. It's not your image. Every engine or a facial solution converts your face into a mathematical formula, depending upon the distance between your retina, your nose length, and few more features which are there on your face. And that mathematical formula is what gets stored in the database as well. It's called a vector or a template, face template. Now, when this vector is getting created, there are so many environmental parameters that come into picture: the lighting condition, the way you are looking at the camera, the time of the day, and all. So at times this can fail, and even it can end up creating a same mathematical formula for the twins. That is a challenge which globally is known for facial engines. There are ways to solve it in terms of by when the good question to ask is how does a system react when it fails? It's right. So, and in case of things like airport entry and all, we will have to take a more restrictive view than a flexible view, right? If for a twin it fails, should I open the gate? Should I keep the gate closed? I think the more obvious answer is keep the gate closed and let it handle manually, because there is a system is in doubt. So one way to handle it, and which we have sorted it at a couple of airports, is but whenever this happens, the fallback can happen by scanning the boarding pass and then matching 1:1 versus 1:2, and then allowing the passenger to enter. And other solutions are also being looked at. Overall, this is a solution which integrates with multiple stakeholders. Airlines are integrated, airports are integrated, and at the airport, when some failure can happens, it can also be because of some integration points with the airlines and all. That a lot of validations happen before that gate opens. It goes and hits the airline system also to validate you. Something can go wrong there as well. So we have those issues. We are actively listening to the ground team and trying to solve those edge cases. Within Digi Yatra app also, there are issues like name matching and all, which we are trying to solve. One way to solve is by giving you more options for the ID documents. If your name is not matching on the one, it can match on the other, right? So we are working towards that. One of the safest solution is to give more alternatives, and that's what. So we are very committed to solve those challenges which we are facing on the ground as well as we move along.
Right, more solutions being looked at, but for those saying, okay, look, now Digi Yatra has essentially reduced your manual identity checks altogether. So, what kind of an impact is this having on airport jobs entirely? And will technology now completely replace certain checks and balances altogether, and employment opportunities as well, or are they new kind of roles emerging?
So. I think, again, a very fundamental question with every tech. This question keeps coming back: when the internet happened, when the industrial revolution happened. So this keeps coming back, and I don't think so. The jobs go away. New kind of jobs open up, right? I think new kind of tech, that new kind of learning that has to happen over a period of time. We as humans have been outsourcing one thing or the other. With this AI, we are outsourcing something which is very close to us, which is thinking process, right? So the whole thinking process is we just pick up the bot and then ask the question directly there, and the thinking is getting replaced. So I think the future holds for people who can do the first principle thinking, and also evaluate what AI is generating, which is going to be very difficult as we move along. And with this new tech, every time the new tech comes up, there is always this need to learn in that tech space and evolve yourself. So I would say jobs will not go away. New kind of jobs will come up. Some kind of jobs will go away, which are menial, which is mundane, and which can be automated very easily using AI or any other tools. So those jobs wherein, and more thinking, more domain specific jobs and roles will still be there, and there will be more demand for those who have those skills in place.
All right, and like India gave UPI to the world, do you see India then giving Digi Yatra for the travel experience to the world?
Oh, definitely. So that is something which we have proven at scale, that self-sovereign identity can work. And in last POC cycle with IATA, Digi Yatra was a key member, working closely with the international players to ensure the global interoperability, and they were looking forward for interoperability with Digi Yatra as well. So we have definitely told the world and proven it to the world that the solution can scale. And whenever the other countries are ready to imbibe such solutions, we are right there if they as a DPI for other countries also to use the solution.
All right, so the nature of jobs is changing and solutions can scale. A lot of work in progress. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and for this exclusive interaction. Thank you.
Thank you, Sakshi. Thank you.